I've built a TARDIS model and broke the process down into several videos. This is the 5th video in this series, so if you want to start from the beginning, then check out my playlist with the full series. If you've been following along, then let's move on to the light that goes on the top of the roof. This video will be shorter than the other videos in the series. I'm going to start by using this 3/4 inch dowel. I cut down one end of it so that I can fit it into my drill. Now I can sand the end of the dowel into a taper. I need to sand it down to a point where the height of the taper is 5/16 inches. This will be the cap of the light. While I was cutting the cap off of the rest of the dowel, a couple notches broke off along the wood grain. This wasn't too big of a deal, I just used wood filler to recreate the shape. I also cut a disc off of the dowel that is 5/16 inches tall. I only use this disc as a reference piece for size. For the base of the light, I want it longer than the reference piece that I cut, but I also need to drill a 3/8 inch hole down the middle of it. I start with a 1/16 inch pilot hole, then I use a 3/8 inch brad point bit. I go about an inch into this piece of dowel, then I cut it at 3/4 of an inch. I file 4 notches around the central hole. These will be for the cap supports of the light. For the bulb of the light, I'm using a section of 3/8 inch diameter nylon tubing. I'm making the 4 supports from small matchsticks. The distance between the base of the light and the cap will be 9/16 of an inch, so I'm adjusting the position of the tubing to that much. Then I'll cut off the heads of the matches. I glue the cap and the supports in place here. Once this glue dries, I examine the part to make sure I like the way it looks. Now I'm test fitting the tube and comparing the base height to the reference piece. For mounting the light to the roof, I needed to drill a hole in the roof for me to glue the light into. Before drilling into my assembled roof, I made a backup one to practice on. That process worked good, so here's what I did. I started with a 1/16 inch pilot bit and drilled into the center of the roof. Next, I drilled a 1/4 inch hole with a brad point bit. Now I can use a 3/4 inch hole saw that has a 1/4 inch center bit. I drill it from the outside going in because I know it will have some blowout, which I didn't want on the outside, but isn't a big deal if it's on the inside. I use the reference disc to test fit the sides of the hole, and it fits snug but not too tight. Now I test fit the light. When I cut the tubing, I want it to extend a little bit past the bottom of the light's base. Everything looks good, so I glue the light in place and use wood filler to give the borders a clean look inside and out. And that's it for the light. If you follow this design, you can put an LED into the nylon tubing to light it up. Watch for my next video where I will be adding the windows to the sides and the doors.